The following program contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and the girls, welcome to Ox After Dark, the late night, great night show where Dean, the Dream, Martin, Chris from Small Talk, Classy Thomas, CM Chuck from Fridays, and John the Everyday Collector talk about our dreams, our lives, our trials, our tribulations, and more. Dean, we missed you last week.
Yeah.
You had a doozy of a week the past few weeks. Do you want to tell us what happened?
Yeah, I was really tired. I appreciate you letting me sleep. Usually you would call me like, "Where are you?" But you let me
I've
sleep,
given
so
up on
thank
you.
you. But yeah, my sweet little Kevin got into some candy. A 3-pound bag of gummy bears,
Oh my gosh.
and he had to go to the emergency vet. So it's like a whole day they kept him, put him on like because he started throwing up. And I checked the internet and they're like, as long as it's not sugar-free gummy bears, they'll probably be okay. Apparently there's some chemical in sugar-free specifically that is like very toxic to dogs.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called, but these were regular gummy bears. And I was like, he's probably going to be okay. And then the more I kept reading, it's like, well, it depends on how much he ate, because that could be a big problem. I was like, well, it's a fucking 3-pound bag of bears.
He went through the whole bag.
He actually
It was a
ate
3-pound
it.
bag.
No, he
He
didn't
had
get the
a
whole
3-pound
bag,
bag
but
of
he ate enough of it. And
Yeah.
so he started throwing up just heaps of gummy bears.
Oh.
And so I was cleaning up fucking gummy bears left and right. And I was like, well, he keeps throwing up, so he's gonna be dehydrated. So I kept giving him water, and he couldn't keep the water down either.
Yeah.
This is about 5 in the afternoon on a Friday or Saturday. And by like 6 a.m., 7 a.m., he like couldn't walk. He like couldn't stand. Or at least he didn't want to. He was just like totally just no energy, and he couldn't keep anything down. And so I started calling around, and luckily just down the street there's a 24/7 vet that I had no idea they've only been there like 6 months.
Oh.
And so I took him there, and they kept him for not a whole day, but about a day. Hooked him up to the IV, put him in an incubator because he was,
Jesus.
so cold.
Oh my goodness.
Because he didn't have, he was all lethargic, so he was just shivering, and so it was a pretty harrowing day. And then you get him home, and it's not like they're a-okay right away. So like the whole week, I was just monitoring what he ate, make sure he didn't throw it up, make sure he was keeping down his fluids. So it was quite a week. 2 weeks ago, that's why I wasn't here on Wednesday. I was tired. I think that day was like the first day that I fed him like normal food. Or like his normal meal, because I was just giving him chicken and rice. He was eating pretty good for someone sick, so I'm sure he wasn't
It's like, I'm gonna eat more of these fucking gummy bears.
I know, right? Little butthole. But yeah, he's totally back to himself, and I'm happy. So, but
There
this
you
week
go.
has been pretty good. No complaints here.
Fantastic. Chris, how we doing this week?
Oh, not bad, man. I can't. I mean, those pet scares really freak you out, man. I had a cat eat a Advil once, and it's like borderline death sentence, but made it through, man. That mess up some animals. Bag of gummy bears doesn't sound so bad, but I can't complain, man. Just doing the dang thing. I'm here in Toronto. Me and some friends have been planning an event not dissimilar from OxCon, so it was kind of weird to hear you guys say that might not be happening this year.
Yeah.
Like
CaliCon or CanadaCon.
yeah, we got a similar thing, but it I do understand the pain and suffering of organizing a small, very focused collector event. Been doing the same sort of thing.
Yeah, and we talked with Eddie last night, and Marco as well. There was things at any event. Even even after we do a CW, which we've done 300 plus of them, like after every show, we take a few minutes and reflect on like what went well, what we could have done better. So, it was kind of nice to hear from them, the things that worked really well and the things that, because essentially this is only the third one that I know of, because we did two OxCons, and then this is now the third. I'm sure other six scale collectors have gotten together before, but where
Yeah.
people are coming in from all over, and so I'll take any bit of information that I can. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I thought about today. I think we'll do something, but I struggle to want to call it OxCon because
It
I
won't
think it
live
sets
up.
a certain pressure, right? It sets a certain pressure.
I completely understand, and I don't want to make it sound like we don't have fun planning these things, like, and especially executing them. Like there's a certain amount of joy in pulling it off, but like it's
Yeah.
weird, like I'm sort of part of these like vintage Star Wars collecting groups that are like, it's very similar to the six scale like groups where like you have like regional like clubs and stuff, and like, man, there's like a Georgia vintage Star Wars collecting club that just had their like annual like party, and like it was off the chain, man. They did
Yeah.
they did so put in so much work. They had like special guests, panels, all kinds of stuff for like less than 200 people, right? But like it just, the opulence and decadence of this Georgia party really made me rethink what we got to do for Toronto in August. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's always a certain amount of gamesmanship where you're like, okay, they did like this, we gotta do bigger, or you
Yeah.
gotta do it, in the best way possible. But you're like, you kind of want to one up the next guy. But I've always been that way, like super competitive. So
Yeah,
yeah,
the fire's
that's
there.
pretty wild. Yeah, and like I've at the end of last one that we did, people were thinking like we should rent a hotel like conference room, and I'm like, I don't really think it's that big,
Dude,
and it's
that's
also
what
incredibly expensive to do that. 'Cause
that's
San
what,
Antonio is
yeah.
a huge destination city for that kind of thing. We're like the number one in the United States, so the rates are ridiculous.
I agree. I wish me and my friends didn't start it that way. Where this August will be our like third annual one, and like,
Yeah.
like it didn't, it sort of broke even both times, but like it's, you're introducing a lot of logistical stuff and paperwork, getting those rooms set aside and bringing in guests and all that. I don't know.
100%.
Most of the fun is with hanging out with the boys and having a few drinks and buying and selling between each other. I don't know how much you need to escalate it, really.
Yeah, and it's also a bit harder because, like, not that the things that you guys sell aren't expensive, but like, you could pack, a number of TVC things in a bag, a hot toy. It's a shoebox basically.
Yeah.
So no one's gonna be bringing a dozen hot toys down, and yeah, it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of stress, but we'll see. Maybe we'll just do smaller collectors meetups, sort of like when you came in town. We all got together for dinner and had a blast. But you wanted to be on today, so I appreciate you wanting to join us. We missed you.
Yeah, I don't know. I really, I don't, being in the Eastern time zone, I don't usually stay up to watch After Dark live, but I try to catch it as much as I can. And, I thought it would be a great opportunity to join tonight since I had a very relaxed day. But, yeah, I don't know, man. The OxCon thing is speaking to me because, like, I'm living a similar situation, and,
Yeah.
I just, but like when you guys were talking about maybe not doing it, I was I was a little bit living vicariously through you, where it's like I would like to not participate in this event that I'm already well tied to and have to participate in. But I've
Exactly.
fantasized about that for a little bit, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Definitely. Thomas, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great today. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. Still on the recuperation bend, but yeah, I'm feeling better, and I actually felt the energy, and I assembled I have three Machi cases that I need to be assembled, and I assembled one of them today, and so I have that one. I have that one sitting where it needs to be right now, and then if I have the energy to do the other two, then I'll do the full setup. Otherwise, I'll probably just try to assemble one a day, because it's one of those larger ones, so it's not real easy to. The size makes it awkward to handle and stack by myself. It will be easier with a partner to help out with. So I'm gonna see what I do, but I may be getting some new figures and stuff like that out of their boxes and finally able to get on some shelves. And then I have a couple of garage those garage shelves that they sell. I bought a couple of ones that are not super wide, so they kind of fit in two really good, nice corners that I have of the room. So I think I'm going to assemble those and maybe contact some places that might sell some acrylics, so I can kind of plan on, covering the sides and, get something to cover that backing and everything like that. So I'm kind of excited about getting these things up, because I'm like, man, I can actually get some things actually assembled and put up. So it kind of got me a little, got my energy going like that.
Wow.
And and then the rest of the day, of course, I spent the day watching YouTube, which kind of that video I sent y'all was was one of the things I came across today. So I'm not going to mention anything right now because I know we'll talk about it later.
There you go. Chuck, how we doing today?
Doing good, fellas. Doing good. It's good to see everybody. Dean, welcome back. I'm glad your dog's okay. Chris, I think this might be our first time meeting. I was discussing you on Small Talk earlier.
Yeah, I've been in the chat on your show a few times.
Yes.
Chuck,
Okay,
bring
awesome.
your gain up if you can. Please.
Where do I
Is your
do
mic
that?
selected?
Or check if your mic is selected.
I was gonna say, do I sound weird? Let me see. Hold on.
Yeah, you sound terrible in the worst way possible.
Classic not mic selected situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah, I hate to
selected. What do you?
Right click the sound settings on your. We should have done this before we went live, so I apologize.
Yeah, sorry,
right click
guys.
the sound settings on your computer, and then go to input, and then drag the volume up if it's not all the way up.
Okay, let me see here. I think I did it. Do I need to click off any of these boxes in the settings, Zach?
No, do that on your computer settings, not your stream. I've already boosted you up.
Okay. Yeah, otherwise good though, guys.
There we go. We'll check back in with you in a second. John, how we doing?
Doing well. Glad to be here, chill with you guys a bit. Another Wednesday, man. It feels like we were on here yesterday for After Dark, so that's wild how fast time's going. But good. Weather's turning, doing some outdoor yard work, and that's it. Nothing crazy.
There you go. Fantastic. I was expecting you to go a little bit longer. Chuck, did you get that figured out?
I don't know. Do I still sound like I'm in a tunnel?
Yep.
Okay.
Is your input all the way up on? Are you sure your mic is selected? Tap your mic.
Wow. Not your hot toy figure.
I don't think your mic is selected.
No?
I'll never forget that as long as I live.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain it's not selected.
Holy shit.
I can see him tapping it as you say it. It's crazy. It's burned into my mind.
That happened one
Seared
time.
in.
I was helping a buddy of mine with his brakes. He needed to change the brake pads on his car, and he had never done it before. So I was like, "Yeah, I'll help you out." And when you buy brake pads, they come with these little tubes of like adhesive, like a paste. You put them on the back of the brake pads, so when the pistons push them in, the piston will keep the pad instead of leaving it on the rotor, right? So it's just a little help. So I give him the packet of paste. I was like, put this on the back of the brake. And he was like, okay. So like I'm like fucking around with everything. I'm like, where are you? And I get up and he's in the car, putting it on the back of the brake pedal. And I was like, bro, what are you doing? And he was like, you told me to put it on the back of the brake. I was like, not the brake pedal. We're
What
focusing
is a
on the brake
brake,
pads.
Yeah.
And he got so, I don't want to say butthurt, but he was like really upset that he didn't understand because he was like, well, like I didn't have a dad around to teach me this kind of stuff. I was like, I'm not mad at you, dude.
You're an asshole, bro.
I guess I am.
Well,
But-
it's at moments like that you realize that certain people have a completely different conception of reality than you do, you know?
Yeah.
Well, Dean,
And I'm
now-
like, bro,
now
like,
you-
Does he call you daddy now?
yeah, you're his daddy.
no. But I was like, bro, like, your car is, I mean, for most people, it's very vital to your every day to day goings on. Like, you should understand how they operate and, like, you know, just bare minimum stuff like how to change a tire. Or, I mean, doing the brakes is not super, like, complicated. But I guess I could understand how like you could just take it to like, you know, brake check and have them do it for $100. But I was just like, what are you doing? Like I couldn't comprehend like why you would put on the back of the brake pedal. And like I wasn't like
Terrible
making fun of him. I
You
was just
shamed
like,
him, man.
yeah, I guess he felt shamed. And I felt really bad when he said that. I was like, okay, that's fair. Like,
That's how I feel.
And then he
Zach
threw
gives
down
me
the
any
daddy
type of
card.
instruction.
Yeah, you threw out
I'll
that
be your
daddy
daddy,
card
bro.
and said, I didn't have a dad, and, you know, you just don't know
Well,
what it's
first of all,
like.
you probably
Daddy
did
wasn't
like
there.
you probably did like an uncontrollable laugh for like 12 seconds straight.
that's fair. You're probably not wrong. That was so long ago.
This poor guy.
Let's
Is
see.
this
We
good?
got.
Is this good? Do I sound better? Worse?
Yes, you
better?
sound much better. Tap the mic.
Okay.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Yeah, I could hear that.
Oh, there we go. All right, we
Okay.
got Toy Mafia, Caffeinated Comic Fan, Mr. Musashi, Nerf Me, Action Figure Academy, Bob Dylan, Alvin J, Mr. Musashi, Xylitol. My dog did the same thing. That's where I found out about it. Vintage
Oh,
Rebellion,
yeah.
Miss
That's the one.
Darth
Xylitol.
Cameras, Tibbs in the chat. We got John in the chat as well. So Chuck, tell us about your week, and say more than 4 words, like unlike John, please.
Yeah, my
Oh,
bad.
I thought you wanted me to go quick. I could go on for hours if you want. The bullshit I have to deal with.
Yeah, it was a good week, man. It was.
We're gonna have a 7-minute show if everyone says 3 words about their week. That was good.
solid.
I don't know how I follow up.
Dean
with,
always
with
pisses
what,
me off when hey, Dean, how's your week? Yeah, it's pretty good.
How am I supposed
Great.
to follow up with what Dean
What
said?
can I say? I'm blessed.
Wow. Anyways, Chuck, tell us how you're doing.
No, it's exactly the same thing. My nephew comes home from school every day, and I'm like, "How was school?" He's like, "Meh." I'm like, "Okay." I put him on the show last week, and same thing. I said, "How's your week going?" He's like, "Meh." I'm like, "Okay, not good for podcasting." So, but no, it was good. We caught the Amazing Spider-Man on Monday in theaters.
Nice.
So that was cool. And then like on Tuesday we had like this work event that was outdoors at the park, and it was insanely hot already here. And I was like, everybody was upset and sweating, and I was like, let's wrap it up.
Chuck, are you in
but-
Texas or California?
I'm in Texas.
Texas, okay.
Yeah, here with Zach and Dean. So yeah, it's not like at its worst yet, but it's definitely already quite hot, especially if you're out there for like, well, we were out there from 1 to 4, and that was plenty. So but it was good work event, kind of like one of those like team building type things, like play games and like do stuff other than work stuff. So it was cool. And then worked from home today, which was good. Yeah, I feel like Dean. I'm blessed, can't complain.
Wow, one could be so lucky. This week
Apparently
has
too.
two could be so lucky. This week has been pretty interesting. Vivi recently started what is it? Acrobatics gymnastics, like competition gymnastics, and it is fucking awful.
Really?
Bro, 2-hour practices, 2 days a week at 5. Who the fuck decided that was a good time for that? And
It's not only
like,
gymnastics for her; it's gymnastics for you to get her
it's
there.
mental gymnastics, yeah. And the worst part is like that's hilarious. The worst part is like every parent leaves. None of the parents are there. They drop their
Yeah.
kids off. I didn't even
Oh,
see them
yeah.
drop their kids off. They just dip
sure.
the fuck out of there.
Yeah,
Vivi's such a sensitive child. We have to be there. We have to be there. And I'm getting my balls busted for not playing Helldivers. And I'm like, bro, I could be diving for 2 hours. I was like, babe, we could be at home doing
Little
God knows
games.
what for 2 hours, having alone time for 2 hours. I could be doing anything but no. And the worst part is on Mondays, because we used to do Mondays and Saturdays, which the Saturdays were actually not that bad. But on Mondays, some of the like the high school gymnasts were there, and they're like fucking crazy. Like they go to like national, international meets, and I would always watch them because it's like they're doing like fucking quadruple, triple spins and everything, and I'm like, damn, that's pretty cool. So at least it was kind of entertaining, and it was only an hour. But now it's 2 hours. Another class there was like the Weenie Hut Junior class, and it's like, bro, these kids can't even do a cartwheel. There's nothing nothing cool happening. Now, granted, my kid's class is a little bit more advanced, but still, you know, and it's just, you know, ugh, it's so boring. And I want to be a good dad. I really do. And I'm like, people, you got to realize like how fortunate you are to have parents that actually will, you know, go to these things. And God, it's so boring. Like, it would be less boring if the other class was working out, and at least I could watch, like, you know, fucking the next Simone Biles, you know. But
Well-
now I'm watching, like, you know, the Olympic class of 2060. Like, these kids are like 3 years old.
They gotta
It's-
get them doing some like American Gladiators type shit or like Ninja Warrior, so you can see some
Yeah.
falls at least.
No, I would
MXC.
never want to see the kid fall because I honestly I've never seen the I don't know what they're called. They're like I think they're floor. That's what they're called. They're trampoline, something like that. Because they divide them for the competition in different skill sets. But I've never seen them really bust ass. But I'm always really scared when they do it, and I have to watch because it's like a car accident. You can't turn away. It's like, bro, this chick's gonna do a fucking quintuple backflip, gainer 3-7-20. Like, bro, if someone's gonna fall,
Yeah,
come
you
on, watch.
you make it or it's the end of your career. Yeah.
Yeah, but then they always land it, and I'm like, dude, I haven't seen these girls fall once. So now I'm just, you know, bored out of my mind, and like this week's not so bad because I wasn't so tired. Last week I was exhausted the whole week. I mentioned it the other day, so we skipped question of the week, but yeah, this week's been a drag. You know, and then Vivi wanted to play hopscotch yesterday, and she's like, Dad, the grass is too long. I can't play hopscotch in the morning. So of course, I had to cut the yard when I got back from work, and I was supposed to do that today so I could skip gymnastics, but I was pressured. I was pressured into doing it yesterday. Just awful. And my neighbor's a fucking asshole. This guy mows his yard every week. Okay. Who the fuck does that? One. And
a
no,
lot
hang
of
on, hang
people.
on. Well, hang on.
You're in Texas.
He doesn't mow it. He pays someone to mow it. And so
That's
I
the way
look
to
bad.
do
Well, I don't have the money to do
Is
it.
he Mexican?
Yes, I'm like, bro, you're paying your own people to do this. You should be doing this. And then my other neighbors really care about the yard. So if you go in my neighborhood, 95% of the yards look like shit. And I live next to the two guys that have the most pride in their yard of everybody.
Yeah.
So I got to fucking get my shit together. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
You know, this time of
terrible.
year, it's the competition between all the neighbors, right? It's.
No, I
That's
don't.
the
I
nicest.
don't be bothered with any of that. Are you kidding me?
But I do want to say, the parents that leave their kids, especially like how old are these kids? Like 5, 6?
No, at Vivi's class, I think the oldest one is probably like in 6th or 7th grade.
Okay, that's a
Also,
lot
all these
different.
people are just friend requesting me right now. What the hell?
That's different, but
Who are these
Still
people?
leave
Qui-Gon
5 or
fishing
6-year-olds.
and-
yeah.
No. Some of them are a little younger, but I'm like, damn, what the fuck do those parents do? Like, they're just dipping out. Like,
You
wanna
know,
dip
good
out.
smack.
Well, you know, if
I
you
wanna-
stick around, you know, they start filming it. You know, you could be on a new Dance Moms. Only you can be gymnastics dance.
TLC.
now I will say today it was a little less miserable because they had the air conditioning on. They had the air conditioning on in the gym, so I was like, thank God, because it was not fun last week. I was miserable. In fact, I think both days I left to go run errands. I was like, I can't be here. This gym smells like
And
ass. It's
I
hot as shit.
think I see a light on the air conditioner, so you must be in your
Oh,
new
yeah.
space.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you couldn't tell.
It looks good. I like
Yeah.
it.
Is this
Yeah, I
the first
like it.
time? No.
Technically, Baldur's Gate 3 on Saturday was the first stream. This is
Okay.
the third stream.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, very
Yes,
nice.
I'm pretty happy with it. Excited for you guys to come check it out. Dean told me he'd be here the second I got AC, and I haven't seen him yet. So,
Don't let me down,
anyways,
Dean. Where's that clip?
there we go. Play that clip, Dean. Man can only got caught in 1080p, baby. But yeah, it's been an interesting week. It has been an interesting week.
But you're done now, Zach. Are you done now? Like,
Am I? Sorry, say it again.
no, are you finished now? Moving?
So there is 2 detofs I need to move, and there's also some shelves that I want to buy. I just don't have money right now. So probably next month I'll get the money for the shelves, and then I want to add a television. So I would say it's like when you're downloading a game and it says like ready to play, but there's still like a little bit percentage left. Like that's where I'm at right now. I could play in here, I can hang out in here, but it's not quite how I want it. And yesterday, like those 2 bottom shelves there, it was actually all Lord of the Rings, but because the shelves are so much deeper and so much wider, it was kind of sparse on the bottom. And so those bottom 2 shelves are going to be my D&D dioramas on the 4th shelf and the 5th shelf. I'm not quite sure, but it gives me more space for things. What I may end up doing is moving the Batmobiles. You can't see them, but move them to there.
Yeah, I can
Move
see
the
them.
Falcon and the Slave One down. Maybe picking up a really sweet Lego set this weekend, but I'm not quite sure. So stay tuned for that. And it's already built. So I don't have to build it. Thank
Yeah,
God.
the
Dude, if you
Falcons
just
would
don't
probably
buy
look
Lego,
good.
you can have someone do your yard.
I'd rather have Lego, because then I'm gonna have to call him back the next week when my asshole neighbor decides to mow his yard again.
This guy's buying ready-built Lego sets. What the?
That's what you
That's
need.
how
made
it's
it.
Yeah, I
done.
was like, hey, Zach, get this game. It's 70% off right now. He's like, I don't get paid till Thursday. I ain't buying shit. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'm not buying the Lego till
And he's
Thursday.
like, I'm buying Lego.
You know.
Yeah,
or
but
you
why
could-
would I buy the game? Just because you want to play it? You don't play fucking Bird Simulator with me. Why the fuck would I play Divination 2 with you?
You could buy some goats.
You don't come visit your friend. You
Fence
don't
it-
come visit your
fence it
friend
in.
when there's
You know, you
AC
go
in his
fence
house.
in your yard, putting a couple of goats.
Classy, we're in an argument right now.
And
Yeah,
I know
Classy.
I'm trying to.
What the hell's wrong with you, Classy? Who the hell do you think you
With
are?
all due respect, if he visited you, there'd be gummy bears everywhere.
Yeah, my dogs have to go to the ER too.
Hey, I've
Look, I'll tell
never
you this.
fucking, I've never
tell you
fucking
this.
spilled beer in his house.
Yeah, Philip the fool. First off, how dare you? Second off, I don't. Okay, I have to look up into the game because it's not D&D. You said it was D&D. It's definitely
is
not.
D&D.
It's not
It,
D&D.
it literally plays exactly the same.
It plays the same, but it's not the D&D system. The classes are not the same. The abilities are not the same. The spells are not the same. It's not the same thing.
Pretty close.
Yeah, okay, well, Sonic 2 is pretty close to Sonic 1, but it's still Sonic 2.
Right.
Actually, I saw some Sonic figures today. I didn't see Nuck, dude. If I saw Nuck, I would have slapped that bitch down on the counter and bought it. Anyways, back to what I was saying.
Zach a dingus. And then Thomas was asking something.
Yeah, Thomas, what were you saying?
Yeah, I was just suggesting that save up a little money, buy a couple of goats. They'll maintain your yard for you because they eat grass all day long.
That's what you were saying? Oh, Thomas, you sweet summer child. Then I'm Thank you, Thomas. Then I'm gonna have goat shit all over my yard. Then my dogs are gonna fight with the goats. My neighbors
Well,
are not
you
gonna
know-
like the goats.
At least over there, you don't even have to look up if you're allowed to have goats in your yard. Of course you are. You can have tigers, whatever the heck you want.
I don't know. I can't fucking watch Pornhub, but I can have a goat and I walk into a store and I can walk out with an AR-15. I don't fucking understand that.
And Chris is right. You can have the tiger too. You can just
It
do
took me
whatever.
longer to find out how to log into Pornhub than it did to buy my assault rifle. It makes no goddamn sense. I was in and out in 10 minutes to buy that fucking thing. Makes no
Yeah,
goddamn
Well, you
I think
gotta-
just yeah.
Yeah.
And then people say
Just
it's
be
not
an
in the
adult.
Constitution. Dude, pursuit of happiness. Thinking that's freedom of speech.
That's
It
what the
is,
movie.
honestly,
That's what the movie's about. Yeah.
cruel and unusual
Yeah.
punishment to keep us away from
Thank
the
you.
hub.
Thank you.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Where am I getting my ladyboy porn at?
Zach,
Pursuit
so
of
your backyard,
happiness.
I've only seen it through the back window, but is it like a standard like square? Like is it like
Not
Or
perfectly
kinda-
square, but it's a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty
okay? Because your front yard doesn't seem like there's that much to cut. It's not like a huge.
Why don't
front
you
yard.
come cut it? If,
more of a-
if you
more
think
of a
there's not that much,
rhombus.
then you come cut it.
No,
Well, it's okay. My front yard is like
It's an oval.
50 feet by
Yeah.
maybe 50 feet, and my backyard is 50 feet by 50 feet. That's like 1,000 square feet.
I hate
Get
cutting
your
my own
lazy
grass.
ass up off the
Yeah.
couch and go fucking cut.
I
that
have a
grass.
small ass yard too, but no, I was thinking not along Thomas's lines of the goats, but you guys seen like those mowers that are like the Roomba, but it's for your lawn. Like
How
you set
much
up the
money do you
perimeter.
people think I
should
have?
be-
Those are
you
like
should be-
$8,000.
You
You're
get
just
those-
talking about buying Lego.
You should be
Yeah,
embarrassed.
a Lego that's 80% off, not a fucking technological Roomba.
There's
I
nothing.
can't
like
even afford a
waking up-
carpet Roomba.
Nothing like waking up on a weekend, cracking that coffee, and the smell
Oh,
of fresh,
dude.
fresh cut grass. Fresh cut grass. Oh,
Bro,
You mow your yard, Dean?
no, pay
Then
somebody.
shut up.
No, I was gonna say.
I was like, I know you're
I
not mowing
also
your
have a
fucking yard.
Roomba, and that shit is badass.
Yeah.
I wish I had it. Wait, you have a yard Roomba?
No, I have a Roomba, and a yard
See-
guy, and a riding lawnmower. We don't
The,
use.
the yard guy is the yard Roomba.
And then at my parents' house, this fucking asshole, their neighbor has a ride-on lawnmower. His yard's like 25 square feet, literally, boop, boop, and he's done.
No,
That's a
our yard's
pursuit of
fucking
happiness thing
huge.
again.
No, I'm not saying your yard isn't. I'm saying I
No, I'm
understand
just
why he
saying,
has
like-
one. I know your yard's big because you bought the lot next to you.
Yeah.
Also,
The
John,
house-
I don't know if you understand the summers here are how intensely brutal it is, man.
John, we're
It's-
talking 100% humidity and like 100
That's
degrees,
no
bro. I'm not
excuse.
waking up, cracking coffee, and
That's no
mowing the yard. That's terrible.
well, your grass won't grow as quick then because
Dude, you,
you
get
don't
the
have enough.
mud butt just
a lot of
fucking.
water.
They
over
must have not.
grass.
My grass must not have gotten the memo because that shit grew like fucking this much in
Well,
3 weeks.
spring, yeah, because of spring you will. But
Well,
that's
you
like
also
starting
got that.
Jurassic Park in my yard.
You got that really fancy grass too.
Well, I did get new sod. That new sod is growing really
Yeah.
well.
Yes, yes.
Because it's the same grass that we had, and that shit was. It's wild how fast that shit grows.
Zelda, bro. That's just
Zach
Zelda
recommended it,
grass.
and we got it, and it's just like holy shit.
What
this-
kind of grass is it?
It's like Bermuda or something.
some kind of.
They fucking put a
I
fucking
was-
spell on it or something.
Yeah, I always say it
Steroids.
looks like Lord of the Rings grass because it's like very
Damn.
whimsical,
Yeah.
and it like you could see like the patter of the wind in it. Like it's cool.
It's got a.
Equan
print
says I had a
pants.
Roomba. Then the puppy took a dump on the floor. I came back from working the Roomba, spread shit throughout the entire apartment.
Yeah, I mean you gotta be vigilant on
That's a Pumbaa.
the
at that
big
point.
stuff.
Well, to Thomas's credit, if the goats get into the gummy bears, they'll eat the gummy bears and the bag and anything else that they.
Yeah, but at
know.
least you get cabrito at
soon.
the end of that.
There you go.
You can eat the goat if it dies from gummy bear.
And if it has udders, you can make goat milk.
Yeah,
Thomas,
I hear
what
you
kind of
can milk
human
anything
do you
with-
think
I'm not
Tits.
trying to eat Kevin Asada
With
tacos.
nipples.
that I'd eat a Kevin Asada taco. The world was ending.
I'd still be hungry.
Wow, it's like one taco.
He doesn't have a lot of meat on him. He's a really little dog.
It's got extra gummy flavor.
What's
Hey,
that?
there he is.
Oh,
Yeah, not a lot of meat on that bone.
He's,
Look
he
at this
says,
dog.
adorable. He's like, I almost
get my
escaped.
haircut, bro.
The bastard saved me.
He said he
How
wanted the
dare
warm
you.
embrace of death.
I'm only kidding. Come on. Kevin's a staple on the channel. You need a Kevin sticker.
I was about to say people have been asking for a Kevin sticker.
You need a Kevin sticker.
Yeah, look, one people, but yeah.
I like that little stripe on his head. He kind of looks a little bit like Stripe from Gremlins. You know, with the little mohawk, the little blonde
He's a
mohawk.
little gremlin. Look at him.
Was he always gray, or did he get there?
No, he was, and he's not even 5 yet.
Oh, really?
He was
That's like
jet
middle-aged for dogs,
black
though.
when I got him.
Damn, bro.
And
Well,
after,
small
like,
dogs age
Kevin.
slower, Zach.
That's not true.
After
No,
like,
that is true.
That's not true.
after like
we had
a
a-
year or two, he was like.
That's
silver.
anecdotal, Chuck. That's not true.
No, we had a
I've-
small, like long-haired Chihuahua. It lived to be like 22.
What?
Yeah, like small dogs live longer. It's big dogs that the 7-year thing I think applies.
Wow.
I could be wrong. I could maybe
Kevin's
a shit
looking
He's
out
not
right
even
Little
5
crusty
yet.
over
He's
there.
Still only 4.
Let me tell you this. So I was at Walmart today, and Lego has these like minifigure sets that you can buy, and they're themed, right? So like all the figures in that set, you know, like city people or like the Disney or like Marvel superheroes, and this one was space, right? And you used to be able, they were kind of like in these plastic bags, and you used to be able to like feel the bag to feel what was inside of it. And that was awesome because you would just like, you know, go to the store and like, oh, I'm feeling for this part, and then you find it and you just get exactly what you want. But Lego was like, no, that's lame. So they put them in boxes. But then they put QR codes on the boxes, and you can just scan the code and tell.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was the
the
point of
Halo?
that?
The Halo blind bags
Yeah, the
are
Halo.
the same. They have
yeah.
numbers.
So I bought 5 of them today, and I got exactly what I want, and it was fantastic, including Dean. I don't know if you saw this. My let's see, Prince Zorbo on vacation.
I did see him. Prince Zorbo's awesome, dude.
I know, dude. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I gotta cop that one. I picked a few of them up. I got my little. This was actually really cool. Orion got a little shield with his little Orion's constellation on it.
Oh.
And then I got a space woman. I got 2 more, but they're up there. I don't want to
Space
go grab
woman.
Is that the spacewalk one?
Yeah, look at that.
That's the
thing.
one I wanted to get because you posted a list. I was like, that sounds fucking cool.
Look at this thing, and it's got even like a little helmet on the bottom.
Oh.
That's so cool.
The jetpack.
Hey, that'd be cool to put with your Saturn V, just to have a
Oh yeah, a little inaccurate, but yeah, definitely.
yeah, inaccurate, but you know,
2 kinds of countries, Chris.
2 kinds.
Oh yeah, you know they didn't do walks out of the Saturn V. That's right.
You know, they didn't do walks out of Canada on the moon.
You know
Well,
that
um,
the states didn't
got a
make it
big-
to the moon, right?
We got a big robot arm on the space station. You know, most countries don't have anything up there, right? There's
Yeah.
like, we got some robot arms at least.
Especially a flag. I don't even think the states have a flag up there, right? They just, that was all
Yeah,
fake.
it's on the moon. I think there's 5 of them.
The Russian monkey's the only one that went up there.
Damn, dude, they let that little dog die. This is so sad. It's so
Like,
sad. Yeah, poor Laika.
What do you mean? They sent the dog?
Yeah.
John,
the
they
first
sent
one.
all kinds of stuff up there.
yeah,
Yeah.
Russia.
Probably-
The first living creature in space was a dog. Like
I think they probably sent a chimp at one point too. They just don't want to
I
talk
could have
about it.
sworn. I could have sworn I heard a monkey went up there, or was it a dog?
Probably both.
I don't care.
And no one thought to ask how they were going to get back. They're just like, oh, great job.
Oh,
You
that was
got it."
never part of the plan.
yeah,
They sent that little motherfucker up there and just
let her
deuces,
burn up
bro.
in the atmosphere.
Fucking assholes.
It's not a great PR
Not the worst thing
image.
the
for
Russians
Well-
your-
done, but
I mean, to
Winning
be
the
fair,
space
you know,
race.
Wow.
a lot of astronauts died in test flights too in the 50s and 60s, right? Like it's a
Yeah,
hard
but they're
game.
not dogs.
yeah, there's a difference.
Yeah, they just went to
consented
school
it.
for like 10
Yeah,
years.
yeah, but
to
there's a
die in
difference,
test
though.
crash.
You
yeah,
know
but
the
they
risk.
voluntarily
A dog
did
is
that.
just
the
like-
dog is just a dog.
That dog is like,
have a
what the
bowl of
fuck is
water?
happening?
Yeah, well, it's a little more dignified than testing makeup on him or something. But yeah, I don't know. He's serving his country.
She.
He or
Poor
she.
dog.
yeah.
That's
Thomas,
what's
there
going to
was-
happen with Mars.
Oh,
the
sorry,
first
go
colonies.
check.
No, I was just saying is that what's going to happen with the first colonies on Mars? We're going to be like,
I don't know. I think they already have selected the first humans to go to Mars.
Yeah.
It's like a one-way trip.
They
Collecting-
wouldn't survive the PR these days trying that. Yeah.
It's the collecting weekly panel, apparently. That's where they're
Wow.
Yeah, because
Earth
we're out
gotta
of this
handle it.
world.
broadcasting. Wow, not bad. Broadcasting from Mars. This is CW.
Remember, it's thousands of dollars every pound they have to send up, so they really like us.
Yeah.
That's a big rocket.
We'd have to get rid of the live chat.
Wow. If I remember, they apologized via comms to the dog because they knew it wasn't coming back. Yeah, I'm sure the dog fucking appreciated that. That dog was 10,000 miles above the earth.
He's the only
Dying.
dog from 50 years ago that
They're
we're
like,
still
"Shh."
talking about.
Sorry, Laika.
I like it a lot.
Chris, what about Lassie?
dog's
We're
like,
still talking about Lassie, right?
Nobody talks about Lassie. No one even likes Lassie.
What about Scooby Doo?
He's not a real dog. Hey, don't tell Dean that Scooby Doo's not a real dog. Fuck.
Ruh-roh.
That's one thing I would never do. Like even if they approach
Send a
me
dog
and
to
said,
space.
No, go to space. Like if they said you have those flights, here's $1 million or gun to the head, never. That I would
Why?
never do. No.
I would.
You look good as a spaceman.
I'd get the claustrophobia would kick in. Are you kidding?
Yeah,
No.
dude, Gravity was fucking terrifying. I was like, this movie's making me anxious in the theater.
Interstellar. Oh yeah, Gravity was crazy. Yeah, Interstellar too was wild, but
That's
It mostly works out in practice.
The scariest part was George Clooney could just come into your spaceship at any time. It's like,
That's the deal breaker. Yeah. Can't have
At least it
that.
wasn't
But
Kevin
Captain
Spacey.
Kirk went up there.
Jesus Christ.
Well, not Captain Kirk, but you know the actor.
Well, that's
Yeah.
it's the same thing. Yeah.
The edge of
William
space, yeah.
Shatner. Yeah.
I mean,
What about a
it's
homemade
fun-
submarine?
DJ said, "How about a homemade submarine?" That's amazing.
Fuck.
That was
that,
amazing.
dude.
Titan sub never gets old.
The deal breaker would have been when they pulled out the PlayStation 2 controller. It's like, oh, this isn't even a PS5.
Oh,
No.
The best
dang
thing,
it.
the best thing about those guys is like, you know, you at least read the Yelp reviews of your Titanic submarine ride. You know, it had people blasting it for years. You still go down there.
One of my favorite YouTubers I like to watch. He does river dives and cleanup, and he just like films
Oh,
like
I've
stuff he
seen
finds
him.
in the river.
Yeah.
Well, they invited him out to go into that submarine. I want to say it was the day before.
Oh, didn't he like back out or they couldn't go down or
They
something
couldn't.
like that?
Yeah, they couldn't. There was
There
like
was a
some
problem with the
technical
sub.
difficulties.
I've seen
Yeah.
that video.
And he's like filming in it and showing it, and I was just like, bro,
Privately, you got to be like,
I was so
Thank
scared
fuck.
for him, bro. And I was like, well, obviously he uploaded the video, so he's alive. But I was just like, oh my god, get out of there, dude, please.
No, man.
yeah.
That was such
So
an
thank
interesting
God.
week.
Yeah, I
Right?
was at the gym and the whole world's
Yeah.
like, they are running out of oxygen. Will they survive? It's like, bro.
The best was when they get James Cameron on the news because like why you get your submarine expert of all time, James Cameron, and he's like, yeah, I knew they were dead for like the last 4 days, but I just didn't want to say it on the news because like that's not the coolest thing to
It's
do.
like that joke from Dave Chappelle, where it's like during 9/11 they got Ja Rule. The news like,
What would Ja
quick,
think?
somebody get Ja Rule.
Well, James, except for James Cameron's actually a submarine like expert, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's just he happens to be the case. Yeah.
But he's also a fucking
Yeah.
dingus.
Wait, John, what's kind of minimal respect for Shatner? He's a fellow Canadian, is he not?
Is
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is.
But
Yeah.
still-
Yeah.
No, fuck him or what?
I mean,
I never really got into Star Trek.
All
to
right.
be
then.
fair, he hasn't really been a Canadian for like since double the length of John's life. So like it does.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, man, he's going strong, man. He's
He is. That guy's-
in the
He's in
90s?
his 90s.
Yeah, he's
Holy
built like an ox.
shit.
Oh yeah, he's built
Dude.
Jesus. So Thomas, you had a fan film called The Spider
Yeah.
that I won't play it. But actually, there's another fan film that I really want to watch called Spider-Man Lotus, which I've heard is terrible, but has some very slight redeeming qualities. But this is the fan film here. So what do you want to talk about it, or what about it do you want to talk about?
You know, should I discuss it with spoilers? I mean, I don't want to mess up anybody's experience if they haven't seen it.
I would say no.
All right. Okay. Well, I'll kind of just give a basic overview. Everybody knows the Spider-Man story about how his beginning is. Well, this fan film is kind of like a horror version of that, where they follow Peter Parker from when he first gets bitten by the spider, and then it shows a different progression of him, and a different progression of how his powers develop.
Yeah, it's more of a horror short.
Yeah,
film.
it's a horror short, and it's kind of cool. The Chandler Riggs, the guy who
did a
played
good
Carl from The Walking Dead, he's playing Peter Parker, and
Yeah.
I tell you what, I was just really, I watched it. It's only about 9 minutes long, but when I was watching, I was like, man, this is because actually I think in the comic books, on one of the different Earths, I think there was a Spider-Man that actually turned into an actual spider.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Man Spider.
Yeah, and he had the he grew the extra legs. He had the head like a spider, and
So
and
much
it
for
was,
spoilers.
no, I was just saying that that's what happened in the comic book. But but it's kind of so that shows a different type of develop. There you go. It shows a different type of development of the character, and so this horror version of this short kind of follows another type of horror version. It's actually quite creepy to me, which I mean, in a really good way though.
Yeah.
And it was and the special effects. I was really
Dude,
really
they're pretty fucking good.
impressed
honestly.
with those effects. They did a lot of practical effects, and I was like, man, they just nailed this, and the cinematography of it was really
Yeah.
really cool.
For
I
a
mean,
for a fan film, I think it's a really well done.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just wild how quick they were able to tell you the story of Peter Parker
Right?
when he got bit by the spider. I go watch a Spider-Man movie. That's like the first
Like
hour and a half.
40 yeah.
But yeah, it was
Gotta
cool.
see Uncle Ben die again.
I
on
wasn't
camera.
expecting.
Damn.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting kind of that turn at the end, but yeah, it was cool.
I don't know. The second I saw horror in the title, I was like, I know where this is going.
Yeah.
I was not surprised at all. I was like, yeah, that's about what I was expecting. It wasn't terrible, like you said.
It wasn't
the
supposed to
quality
be surprising.
for being a fan made thing is really
Yeah.
surprising. The quality they could do. Like, there's a scene where he starts climbing the wall, right? Because he's
Yeah.
discovering his powers. Like, god damn, they did that really well.
Dude, that one shot, I was like, damn, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely looks slick. Yeah, shades of The Fly. I think Chris mentioned it earlier, right? If you've seen The Fly, then.
Yeah.
But I don't really feel like they've done anything like The Fly since The Fly. So this would be, I think,
Yeah.
easy way for people to get into it. Yeah.
Well, that's Chuck. That's because The Fly is too hard for modern audiences. Like that's really the reality of the situation. That's
yeah,
it's a hard movie.
no,
Kids- the
definitely,
kids-
man.
The kids don't do movies like that anymore. Like this touched on it a little bit. The look of there's a creature look in here that looks a little bit like Brundlefly, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Brindle Fly.
Yeah.
but
Well,
yeah,
also
I don't know.
too, when old Chandler Riggs, I thought he was a pretty good Peter Parker. He pukes and
For
the
real,
teeth
yeah.
come out. I was like, ooh, we're going there with that.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, you got to check out Thomas Spider-Man Lotus. I've heard mixed reviews, but
I didn't know that was the dude from Walking Dead. That's-
Same here.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
There's
he's
one too you
got
could
his
check out.
20s
It's,
now.
it's Batman. There's a Batman short film like this. They do several actually.
Does he
Like,
become a bat?
No, it's not like this. It's actually
Oh, okay.
Batman, where
I
they
was like,
go
oh, that's
into Arkham and there's a Joker and everything. It's really good.
That just it sort of shows you that it's not easy out there for actors, man. You think multiple seasons on The Walking Dead, you're not trying to pitch yourself quite as hard anymore, but it never ends for those guys.
Yeah.
It's a short list of the guys who don't have to really push themselves to find work.
Yeah.
Yep. That is
And and in this fan film, there wasn't a ton of dialogue, but you still got the story. I mean, it was executed so well. It was like that picture was really worth 1,000 words. You knew exactly what was going on and where things were going, and that's what I really appreciate about it. And they told a story in a very short period of time that felt complete. And like in some of the I love the MCU, don't get me wrong, but in a lot of their misses, they don't finish the story. They fill up spots with things that don't need to be filled. They should be telling story. And that's the reason why I'm really enjoying this X-Men 97. In 30 minutes, you get a complete story. And it's done so well. And this short movie kind of reminded me of that, about where you, from start to finish, you get a beginning, a middle, and an end. And you don't leave feeling like with questions. And I'm sorry, go ahead, Chris.
Oh no, it's my big takeaway from watching that short is like the technical side of things to get like a crisp looking like high production value piece is really closing, and I think that's gonna really mess with big studios because like you don't have to spend much to like get the look, like the polished Hollywood look. But where I mean personally, where I think it was a piece like that where inexperience really shows is like actors and direction, because it's like I don't know what it is, but like I don't know, one of those Aunt May lines, I'm just like I'm watching a student film, you know what I mean? Like something something Aunt May said, I was just like, yeah, it takes me a little bit out of it. There's something entry level about it. I don't know if it's the acting or the director messing with her on the delivery or what it is, right? But it's funny, like it's kind of like the whole like Godzilla -1 thing, how they did that whole movie for like 15 million or something, and like the VFX crew was like 30 dudes. It just shows you like
Yeah.
how bloated some of the bigger studio productions have become, right? And it's like I think Hollywood's going to continue getting its ass handed to it by like 10 dudes until they pare down the budgets on some of this stuff. But it's interesting to see. Sure, it didn't cost much.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't know how much it costs, but I might have to look that up on the net. But yeah, I was just it was really refreshing because it seems like every time I'm on YouTube, the only thing that I keep seeing are things about the Trump trial, or I mean, it's just stuff, and I finally found something just tucked away. I say, oh yeah, I want to see this. I don't want to see any that crap. I see it all the time. Give me something new.
That's
So
what
it's
we're
kind
gonna
of
see.
nice for me to get that in the algorithm.
Drake and Kendrick Lamar battling.
Oh,
Yeah, or,
yeah. Actually, Drake had a drive by his house the other day.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
Wow, that's classic.
that's hilarious.
I keep seeing all the AI castings, 80s. What if it was 80s Avengers or 80s Justice League? I keep running across those videos, Thomas, on
Really?
YouTube. So yeah, so I guess people are, they're not like you said. It's a lot of the same stuff. And then they're like, okay, let's run this through AI now. Let's run this through AI. So yeah, I thought it was really cool too. I do feel Chris, because there was an Uncle Ben line also. I think that kind of the delivery was a little flat, but I felt like it really wasn't trying to be focused on that. It was kind of focused on the more horrific aspects. And I mean, I that's a definite way I think some of these properties can go, because look what they did with Winnie the Pooh, right? They turned Winnie the Pooh horror now, you know what I mean? They went that way, and I think they said they're going to do like the Steamboat Willie horror version now. So, I could see Spider-Man getting the treatment, you know what I mean?
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was a fun watch. I hope the chat will get a chance to check it out. And I don't know anything about this crew, but I'm just putting it out there that I found it enjoyable. If you got 9 minutes to watch something, I don't think you'll find that your time will be wasted watching the Spider. So if you get to, check it out, and tell me what you think about it. Maybe I'll post something on my channel, and you can leave some feedback.
Wow.
I keep promising.
We
I'm
got
gonna
about
deliver.
10 minutes. Does anyone have anything they want to chat about before we cut this one off?
Yeah, I got just real quick. I don't know, as most civilized people did, I went and checked out episode 1 in theaters this week. It's in the intro of your show, guys. You should probably do that too. You guys revere episode 1 every week with your intro clip. But and then and celebrating that, I did a podcast with some friends on a podcast that's called Knights of Vader, and we interviewed Roger Christian, who was the second unit director on episode 1, and he won an Academy Award for production design on A New Hope as well. So it's like, this guy's a legend, and he gave us an hour, and we talked about his experience shooting like a third of episode 1, which was like pretty cool. So I tossed that link to Zach. So if any of you guys are real interested in behind the scenes film production type stuff,
Do
that
you
was
want to
a real
post it
fun.
in the chat?
Yeah, that was a fun interview. I'll throw it in the chat over here. But yeah, I mean, like it was really great to see that on the big screen again. I haven't watched it for like 2 years, and I don't know, it felt good to see it with a full house, and apparently it made a good amount of money for that
Like
weekend
14
too.
million worldwide. I'd say.
Something that
I checked it out on Saturday too, Chris. My nephew, is his first time. He's 10, seeing it on the big screen, and it was my first time seeing it in the D box motion seats. So
Wow,
I was
I wish
really
I had that.
pleased. Yeah, I was
Put
pleased
it
with a lot of the parts that where there was a lot of movement. You know, the pod race, obviously, and you know, even the end spaceship, you know, fight there. I was like, this is really cool for me after having not seen it in theaters, you know, probably since it came out. So yeah, definitely enjoyable to see it again on the big screen. And I found a lot of parts that, you know, previously I found, I guess you could say, cringy, enjoyable. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, even the Jar Jar stuff was, I was like, this is not as horrible as I remember it, but I'm older now, so I guess maybe that's why.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I felt the same, and I don't know. The Sidious and Maul stuff, like it just hit pretty hard, man. I don't know, like to wipe them out. I'm talking all of them. That's good stuff, man.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
seriously. No, I definitely feel you on that for sure.
It's because you've been force-fed Disney content for so many years that you're like, oh fuck, this is actually
It used to be
not
good.
garbage.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was until I got actual garbage.
Please, sir, may I have some more?
Yeah, the reality is it's only maybe like 20% less good than the original trilogy, which is basically fine art by today's standards, you know.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. I agree. Did everyone catch the Superman picture? What did we think about that release there?
We beat it to death last night, but
Oh,
if you guys want
shit,
to talk about it, you're welcome to. No, you guys.
My
are welcome
bad.
I
I
bet
don't
it's
know.
every night. What are you talking about?
to. Wow. Well,
You know, I really liked it, Chuck. I like that photo. I mean, I know a lot of people.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you my reasons. The reason why I liked it was someone had brought up in another video the thing that I had a hard time articulating, but he hit it on the nail. He said the cool thing about the DC universe is that you have your Metropolis, you have your Gothams, you have your Center. Was that Center City? Is that Flash's place or
Central City, I think.
Central City? Yeah, you have these cities, but they're not based in our reality, so you can kind of do what you want to with them and bring people into that universe. And Metropolis, just like Superman, always seemed to be, from the beginning, always seemed to be portrayed as tomorrow's city, just like Superman is the man of tomorrow. And so what happened is that I always envisioned and always loved the fact that like the Superman outfit in particular, I felt like they did a kind of vintage future. They went back to kind of like to the 50, what people in the 50 thought the future would look like. And that's what I felt that picture was giving me, because when I first saw that costume and him sitting, I was like, that kind of gives me almost a Flash Gordon type of feel, because I don't know if you've ever seen the old Flash Gordon costume, comics and what they wore. I said, man, it's kind of giving me that cool vintage feeling. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, why is he sitting down, putting on his boots? Superman can move at the speed of light. I'm like, look, yeah, what they did is that in that picture they captured a moment. How do you know he wasn't sitting? How do you know he wasn't moving at super speed? And that was 1/1 millionth of the time he spent.
Yeah.
Because you have to sit down to put on your boots. I mean, come on. So
Yeah.
I
but
thought
yeah,
Superman slept with them on, to be honest.
So, but then, like, even in the background, the city, it didn't have it. The city felt to me a little futuristic. I mean, when I looked at it, I was like, oh man, this is such an interesting look, and it kind of made me think about Yeah, you know the Action Comics one where the more modern one run that they did where Superman was sitting and he had his head turned to the back, but you saw him you saw his back and his head was turned looking at us, and it was that really cool run that they did recently, just like when they did the Brave and the Bold. I was like, man, this is. I said, I'm hoping that they're picking things from things like that, like Superman and Action Comics and
Yeah.
Batman's Brave and the Bold, where maybe we'll get the Court of Owls, and so that's where I'm kind of that's the reason why I like it. It wasn't the greatest presentation, I will admit. I think they could have done a better job in. I think the reason why a lot of people are upset, it's kind of like if you served me a filet mignon with sautéed potatoes and everything like that, but you serve it to me on a trash can lid. That I think that the present. I think people were reacting because they felt like they served if it was a great meal, they served it on a trash can lid.
It
So I
told a
think they-
Well, that was a
story.
photo. That was a photo. From what I read, that wasn't an official photo. That was
was it?
in between shots. Someone took that on a cell phone.
Oh,
There
It
was
has-
a
but it-
motherfucking space thing in the background.
It has effects.
No,
I don't think
that's
so.
from what I read. Yeah, Gunn even commented. I'm gonna see if I can
James
find
Gunn's
it.
Oh
a
yeah,
fucking
after
Well-
the fact, after all the backlash.
Yeah,
Regardless,
I think
I think the
saying
biggest
it was
i-
AI. Yeah.
I think the biggest issue that this caused was you just fired the People's Superman, and that's the first
Yes.
image that's coming to market.
Yes.
I think that's what people were starting
I
to.
agree.
That
Yeah,
might be
yes.
why I felt that way too. I
Yeah,
felt like, what the fuck is this?
right. But I'm glad they brought back the trunks. I mean, Superman's supposed to wear his underwear outside of his clothing. That's what he's supposed to do. So I'm glad they brought that back. And
What do you think of the S?
huh?
What do you think of the S?
You know, I actually like the style that looks a little bit more Kingdom Come-ish, like he did, but it looks a little dark. I need to see fully lighted picture.
Yeah. I
so
just
I
feel
can see
bad
what the
that
whole thing looks at.
it sucks that it's like the culture that have to update those logos like for every like reboot. It's like just give them the Christopher Reeve S, like just rock the Batman 89 logo on the next Batman. Like just there's a best version of these things, like it's not
Yeah.
really even an S on this thing. It's missing half
Yeah.
the S.
Yeah, Thomas,
Yeah.
and I get what you're saying. I heard a couple of solid arguments, and I think Zach saw one that I kind of got rolled into yesterday online, and I really wish that if they would have said that this is the actor like getting dressed, in the this is a candid shot, that would have been a whole lot better
Right.
than them adding that graphic in the background, because it just made Superman look. I mean, I think I saw like IGN, they like tore it up, but somebody they were like, oh, finally a Superman that doesn't give a shit. You know what I mean? I was like, that's not is that what we're trying to display? But I think John also said it very well, where especially that after people were kind of clamoring for more Cavill, and it's like, well, this is what you're going to give us. No, regarding the costume, I thought it looked great. I think the actor kind of looks like Cavill, so
He does.
that's
He
okay.
looks like a younger version of him. And actually, people were saying that he's he's not swollen enough. Look, this guy is actually pretty large, and he's thick. Not only he was big before his trainer started working with him. If y'all have ever not seen, or if you've ever seen the movie Pearl, Corn Sweat was actually in that movie. He played the theater projector guy, and that guy's big. But then they showed a picture of him after working with his trainer for a while, and the guy's getting swole. So I don't think people are going to be disappointed with the physique, and I think he's going to look super enough. But he's definitely got a younger look to him. So it's kind of going to be cool to see Superman when he was a little, maybe when he is a little bit less seasoned, to kind of see that growth that happens. that's what I really am hoping for. But I really do like the costume from what I've seen from it. I just want to see it really presented in a way where we can see what it really looks like. I want to see that blue is nice and vibrant. Look, Superman and Wonder Woman, and even Batman's dark. He wears black, but he also has worn blue and gray. But DC, their characters used to be vibrant in color, and that's what I'm used to seeing with Superman. That's what I'm used to seeing with Wonder Woman. So give me the color back. Let's get out of the Snyder universe where everything is in muted colors and gray and feels unhappy and sad. Let's bring a vibrant future to the DC universe. So I don't know. That's what I want. I know that my opinion is just mine.
No, I
But
like it. I like it.
but yeah, I'm tired of seeing depressing DC. I want to see DC after it's had its therapy, and now it's living a better life. That's where I want to see DC
Well,
post therapy.
look, you're gonna get a musical soon.
There we
Don't
go.
want a musical. Yeah, I can do without the musical. DC doesn't need to have Batman tap dancing or anything like that. But
There you go. Let's cut this one off. If you guys want to check out the Vintage Rebellion interview, you can do so at the link there on Spotify. Let's see. John, you have your show on Friday. Do you guys have any big news to cover? The NYC stuff, actually, huge news.
NYC is pretty big, yeah. Disappointing news, and yeah, some statues revealed and so forth. Might do an unboxing, so we'll keep everyone updated Friday. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I love that unboxing that y'all did on Friday. That one was, what was that?
Bloodborne or Black Adam.
Black Adam. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was cool.
Yeah.
John,
Crazy piece.
John, doesn't some part of you, now that NYC is done, doesn't it make you even happier to have one of those? And like, isn't it more elite to have an NYC piece now? It's never gonna be reissued. It's great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's true. You're not wrong.
It's so elite. It's
Yep.
good.
There you go. All right. Well, we love you guys. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Actually, Chuck, what are you talking about tomorrow on Just the
I know I said this last week, but this week for real, it is Fallout.
God
we
damn
had
it.
we had a last minute cancellation with Double A last week, so
Jesus.
yeah, we did the Spider-Man original trilogy last week, so you can go check that out. But this week for sure, Fallout. Even if I have to do it solo, so yeah.
Wow. Anyone else have anything? Thomas, you have anything going on?
Nothing special right now, but once I get these other two cabinets built, I'm gonna start filling them up, and then I may actually do an updated collection tour so we can see some of the figures that have not gotten any love recently. So
What a guy. What
Yeah, figure
a...
market's been crazy.
Yeah, it's not a good crazy though. Alrighty guys, well we will talk to you later. Everyone have a good night. We love you, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye.